Hello everyone, welcome to the tutorial. I'll be discussing about C programming MCQ questions part 5. So part 1, 2, 3, 4 it has been uploaded already in our YouTube channel, so you can go and check there. So these questions, they are important for competitive exam, Viva, PSC exams and many more interview questions. So let's go to the question part. So first question is, what is the 16-bit compiler allowable range for signed integer constant? Okay, so if you know it, for 16-bit compiler the value of integer is 2 bytes. Okay, so 2 bytes means 16 bit, so it will be 2 to the power 16. So in this way you can find the value of the range. So if you don't know how to find the value of range, we'll be making on video tutorial series in this topic also. So if it is signed integer, okay, so you have to take care of this. If it is signed integer, so the value will fall from minus to plus. Okay, so if you will find the value, you will get this answer number D. Okay, so D is the correct answer. So if it was unsigned integer, so the value would be from 0 to 65535. Fine. So let's go to question number 2. So second question is, how many times will the loop be? Okay, so question number 2 is, how many times will the following loop executed? So if you see the question, it is for j equals to 1, j less than equals to 10 and j equals to j minus 1. Okay, so let's execute this. So first of all, the value of j is 1. So 1 is less than equals to 10. Yes, it is less than equals to 10. So finally the value of j will be decremented by 1. So the value of j becomes 0 now. So the loop is again executed. 0 is less than equals to 10. Yes, it is equal. So again the value of j will be decremented by 1. So it becomes minus 1. Okay, so in this way the value of j goes on decrementing. So as the value of j goes on decrementing, it will always fulfill this condition. Fine. So the answer will be forever. So forever is our correct answer. Next is, what is the result after execution of the following code if A is 10, B is 5 and C is 10? Okay, so let's execute this. So first of all, A is 10. So 10 is less than 5, B is 5. 10 is greater than 5. Yes, it is greater than 5. And 10, okay, A is 10. So 10 is less than equals to 6, 10. So 10 is less than equals to 10. Yes, it is also true. So as the operator is AND operator, so if both the condition is fulfilled, then only it will go to the body part. So in this case, both the condition are true. So it will go to the body part. It will increase the value of A by 1. So now the value of A becomes 11. Fine, so it will not go to else part. So A is 11 and C is 10. So where is the option? B. Okay, A is 11 and C is 10. Next, how many characters can a string hold when declared as follows? Okay, how many characters a string can hold? So I think this is the question, character name 20. Okay, so I think there are more options here. So sorry for that. So I'll put the options myself. Fine. So how many characters string can hold? So as you can see, it has initialized char name 20. Okay, so the answer will be 20 only. So the size you declare, that much characters it can hold. Okay, so the answer will be 20. Next is, array is a dash data structure. Okay, so array, if you will see, it is always a linear data structure. Okay, so it is not primary because it is a secondary data. Okay, again data type, array is a data type. No, it is a linear data structure. So this is one of the important question. Next is, which of the following statement is correct about C language? C language is a binary language with some extra features. No, it is not binary. It comes in category of high level. So the C is a high level language with some low features. No, it has high features. Fine. So the C language is mid-level language with some high features. Yes, it is a mid-level language. Let's see option D. The C language is a low-level language. No, it is not a low-level. So option number C is the correct answer. So which of the following statement is correct about C language? Sorry, I think this question has been repeated. So next, go to the next question. In the following program fragment, S and B are two integer. Okay, so B equals to S plus B, S equals to B minus S and B equals to B minus S. So what does it intend to do? Okay, so if you have known the concept of swapping, so you would have known that it is used for swapping. So for this, let's use a value. Okay, so let's consider the value of B is 1 and S is 2. Okay, so first case, B equals to S is 2, so 2 plus 1. Okay, so it will become 3. In second case, S will be equal to, okay, so in second case S will be equals to B minus S. Okay, so B is 3 and S is 2. So 3 minus 2, which will be equal to 1. Next case, B equals to B minus S. So B equals to, what was the value of B? Initially the value of B was 3. Okay, so we'll always take the updated value. Okay, so B is 3 and the value of S is 1. So minus 1, it will be equal to 2. Fine. So initially what value I took? So I took the value, initially I took the value B equals to 1 and S equals to 2. Fine. So now if you'll see, after changing the values, if you'll see, we have got the answer S equals to 2 and S equals to 1 and B equals to 2. Fine. So in solving this, we'll always take the updated value. It will not take the initial values, we'll take the updated values. So you can see here, initially the value was B1, S2, now the value is S1, B2. So you can see this, it is used to exchange the value of S and B. So if this type of questions come in exam, solve using this method. Don't simply don't read it. You should solve it using some particular values. Fine. So next question is, what will be the output of this statement? Okay, so I think I'll. So output of this statement. So the statement is printf percentage d 9 divided by 5. Okay, so if you will divide 9 by 5, you will get answer something like 1 point something. Okay, so if as the format is percentage d, it is in integer form, so it will only take the integer part, so the value will be 1. Okay, so as you can see, all these are floating points, so it will not take the floating point, it will take the value as 1. So 1 is the correct answer. So I think there is no 1 is not in the option, so this is our correct answer. So the last question is, the global variable is declared as. Okay, so the global variable, it is declared outside the function, inside the function? No, inside the function it is local variable. Anywhere in the program? No, it should always be declared outside the function. Okay, so if you don't know the concept of these variables, so we have a number of variables like local variable, global variable, static variable, register variable, okay, external variable, auto variable. So if you don't know the concept, we'll be making one video in this part also, in this portion also. So this is one of the important concept about variables. Okay, so till then, I think this was the last question. So thank you for watching our video tutorial. So like, share and subscribe our channel for more video series. So next I'll be coming with MCQ part 5 and also with some theory portion. Till then, stay safe and stay healthy. Thank you.